Hi. Hey there, everyone. We are back once again with Sylvie Lime, continuing our Sylvie Games extravaganza, where we highlight a few of the games made by the developer Sylvie, and by extension as well, by Love Game, which is primarily Sylvie and Aria. Sylvie Lime, I believe, was a collaboration between the two. Several of the games are, in some way, a collaboration between them. But yeah, I don't really know what to say apart from that. We're going to be continuing on with Sylvie Lime. Last time we managed to defeat a few bosses and also meet several members of the More Magic Club, the developers of Sylvie Lime, the people who made the code for this game using and inserted themselves into it using lightning magic. And we've also gotten a couple of quests from the various members of the More Magic Club. So that's what this stream is going to be focusing on primarily, is finishing up those quests that they provided, defeating the what appears to be one remaining boss, judging by that locked door, and seeing where the game goes from there. Let's get right into it. Cool. The layout is working first try. Always good to see. And let's see. Although my stream chat doesn't appear to actually be showing in the pop-out version for some reason. Let me go and re-grab the stream chat again. There we go, that one's working. Don't mind me, just doing some live technical fix-up. And there we go. On my alternate monitor, I now have the chat available. Quick sound test. Can we hear Sylvie jumping around? Ha! Ha! Oh, actually, we might not be hearing. Yeah. Okay. That should fix it. I think we're good. Yep, okay. Mysterious goo slot. Alright, so where did we leave off? Right, we were asked to show the flower to another member of the More Magic Club. That said, I do not remember whose memory disk that was, so let's just try them all. Right, this one gave us a fetch quest. The item I'm looking for is called Fish. It's in the Dark Castle. Need to defeat 4 bosses, or maybe I don't. Rush! Right. Please show the rainbow flower to my fellow club member, Rami. Alright. So that would be R, but we haven't actually gotten that disk into a computer yet. Ah, you figured out Tara's puzzle. I think the rainbow that appears when you use this is really pretty. Rami's option menu locket. I helped her implement the menu. I think it's really cool how flexible the option menu is in Sylvie Line. In a book, you can turn to any page you want, and in a movie, you can fast forward to whatever part you want. You usually don't have that kind of luxury with games, but in Sylvie Line, you can freely edit the progress flags, and you can enable various movement and health options to make it easier to get around or defeat certain bosses. The game becomes an artifact that you're free to do what you want with, instead of one that corrals you into a certain way of playing. Okay, so... Unfortunately, coming back to this from a significant amount of time, it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to figure out where I have and haven't been. I don't think I knew about that. I used secret vision mode. And yeah, hi, BBC is the bomb. Sorry, I forgot to say hello. I used secret vision mode and saw that there was a breakable wall there. And it looks like I can get to the castle that way. Sylvie gets frame rate up, doubles the game's frame rate. Action toggle, fantasy smooth. I love this game. Okay, now that's interesting. If you activate smooth frame rate immediately after jumping, you can go higher. Something to do with the momentum calculation. There's a secret room up there. And there's a fake platform over there. So I'll need to be careful about that. Very careful. I'm guessing I was supposed to go through this the other direction. Let's turn off the coyote time boots. Down here is the haunted forest, and I believe that we already have everything that we want down here. Here's the map. The Among Us chair. I think there's an area up here that I haven't been to yet. That leads to the ice caverns. Absolutely had a good method of getting up there, and I do not remember it at all. Haha. Damn it. Small mode will help, actually. Perfect. There we go. And there's the computer I was missing. Let's see. Small computer terminal with a slot for a memory disk. The slot is labeled with the letter R. Thankfully, that is the one we have. Insert disk. You insert the disk. Whoa, it's actually working. I mean, I knew it'd work, but it still feels kind of weird. Ah, hello Sylvie, I'm Rami. I did the audio design for this game, Sylvie Line, that is. Me and my friends are part of a little computer club called More Magic, and we made this game together. I hope you like the sound and music so far. Ask about the club. So, we're all grad students studying magic at Silent Lake University. And we formed this little club together. There's 5 of us. It's not actually a magic club, though, despite the name, and despite the fact that we're all magic students. Like I said, it's sort of a computer club. We formed the club because of our common interest in stuff like computers and programming. If you want to know why it's called More Magic, ask Silica. She loves telling that story. Oh, Silica is the club founder. As for me, I'm like the club historian? Record keeper? I don't know. I don't have a very formal structure, but I like keeping track of that kind of stuff. If you want to know more about the other club members, I'm probably the best person to ask. Aside from me and Silica, there's Loop, Cash, and Terra. I'll tell you all of their secrets. Ask about Sylvie Line. This game, Sylvie Line, was a big collaboration between our club members. As I mentioned, my main role was to make the music and sound effects. I'm pretty experienced with, audio editing, since I have my own YouTube channel. But I've never composed much music before, aside from short jingles. I'm really into old Japanese computers like the PC-98 and stuff, so I initially wanted to do an FM synth soundtrack. Heck yes! But I didn't really know how to get started with that. I ended up using this sample-based program called PX-Tone. It's a bit limited, but really fun and easy to use. Fun fact, PX-Tone is the homemade music system that is developed by Pixel. And Pixel is the developer of Cave Story. And so all of Cave Story music is made in PX-Tone. My friend Tara uses it to make music for her game, so she recommended it to me, and showed me how it works. She also showed me some programs for making 8-bit style sound effects. I use this one called Lab Chirp a lot. But sometimes there were sounds I couldn't create with that program, so I would just make a funny noise into my microphone and then mess with it in Audacity. It was a lot of fun making sounds and music. When I got stuck, I'd listen to my favorite video game tracks for inspiration. Even though I was somewhat inexperienced, I hope my hard work shines brightly in Sylvie Line. Club members. Silica. Silica, our fearless leader. She's the one who proposed we form a club. We actually didn't really become a friend group until after the club started. Silica and Loop were childhood friends, and same with me and Terra. But otherwise, we were all just acquaintances who'd hang out over lunch sometimes. I guess Silica noticed over time that we all do computer stuff as a hobby. She can be pretty perceptive. She even invited Cash to the club. Cash never used to talk at lunch, so I didn't really know anything about her. But it turned out she's a really talented programmer and digital artist. Was it a lucky guess? Anyway, Silica's whip smart, but not in a cold, know-it-all kind of way. She really cares about all the club members. I think we're all really grateful to her for bringing us together. How about Loop? Ah, Loop. She's an oddball. I mean that in a good way, though. She's hilarious. Loop is like the club's sysadmin, I guess. She maintains a little server that everyone uses. We all have our own personal accounts on there, and we play games and stuff on it sometimes. Loop probably has the most technical knowledge of anyone in the club. It feels like she can solve any problem you throw at her. A true computer mega nerd. I keep saying things that sound kind of mean. I honestly really respect her. She's a bit of a prankster and often says bizarre things, but she knows how to be serious when appropriate. If you've ever fallen into a sneaky trap while playing Sylvie Line, you can probably blame her. Terra. Terra has been my best friend since elementary school. She's a really sweet and gentle person, maybe a little too sweet, like a sugary marshmallow treat. She's always looking out for others, sometimes to her own detriment. She'll take on tasks that she clearly doesn't have the time for to help people out. Then when it all falls apart on her, she runs up to me crying and sniffling. Honestly, she's such a handful. Her weirdest trait is that she gets crushes on people really easily. I think she's confessed her love to everyone in the club by now. Well, everyone except me, I guess. Silica let her down gently, but Loop was pretty mean. She said, "No chance," and flicked her on the forehead. The worst was Cash, who panicked and started crying for some reason. Then Terra started crying too. Anyways. Terra makes her own video games, and she has a really cute style. She did most of the art for Sylvie Lime. It was her idea to put little flowers in your hair, Sylvie. If you find Terra's memory disc, say hi for me. I kinda miss her. Terra's the one that has a gift for her. Cash, she's a sweetheart. And she's like a super genius at programming. She won medals in programming contests and stuff. She suck? Did I mispronounce my words a bit? Didn't intend to. Her code is really clean and easy to understand, too. Unlike Loop, who constantly writes inscrutable nonsense code with no comments. Anyways, Cash was really shy when she joined the club, but she opened up to everyone over time. Usually she's still pretty quiet, but she gets excited when we talk about something she's interested in. She's really into video games, story-based ones in particular, like RPGs and visual novels and stuff. The space where digital worlds and human feelings intersect. That's how she described it. She's really smart, but she's often kind of self-deprecating. Makes me sad when she looks down on herself. Cash said once that she didn't have any friends at university before Silica invited her to the club. I think she really looks up to Silica in particular. Even though she seems comfortable with everyone now, she tends to cling to Silica a little. I get the feeling that joining the club was really good for her. I hope she can grow into a more confident person. Alright. Now it's time to show her every item in our inventory. House. When two houses collide, they both explode. It's one of the fundamental laws of the universe, but it doesn't happen often in real life. I think this is the most memorable quote in the game for me. I have this phrase burned into my head. Just, when two houses collide, they both explode. It's one of the fundamental laws of the universe, but it doesn't happen often in real life. Who am I to argue? I haven't seen two houses collide with each other. Originally, the game would play two explosion sounds in the same frame when this happens, and it sounded too loud. I implemented a system where the same sound effect can't play twice in one frame to fix it. Hammer. I wasn't really happy with the sound effect of the hammer spinning animation for some reason. I'm not passionate enough about sound effect design to keep chasing after the perfect sound. I did the audio for Sylvie Line mostly because nobody else wanted to do it. Not because I'm some kind of audio aficionado. And I like writing music a lot more than making sound effects, so I put more effort into that aspect. Mouse. When Sylvie is small, all her sound effects get higher pitched and more squeaky. I think it's really cute and adds to the player's immersion. The Among Us chair. The sound for placing the chair is kind of weird. It's not really that chair-like. I guess I did that because the chair is kind of a weird item in the first place. Melted Snowman. The water ball has a different hit sound effect than the snowball. Isn't that cool? The kitten transformation sound isn't software generated. That's me meowing. Stop sign. The stop sign doesn't have a sound when you activate it, but there's a sound for when you get stopped by a spike. I don't know if I should have added a sound for activating it. Sometimes it's hard to decide if something really needs a sound. I made a ticking sound to go along with the countdown for the airwalking ability these boots give you. I'm not actually sure whether it's helpful or annoying. Frame rate upper. The frame rate increasing item. Whoop's masterpiece. As audio designer, I didn't really have to worry about the effects of this. I just had to make a toggle sound. There are two of these eye items in the game, the Eye of Truth and the Eye of Lies. I tried to make Truth sound more magical and Lies sound more sinister. There are two of these eye items. Yep, that's the same thing. Oh, there's a cool story about this gemstone. It didn't always flip gravity. It originally had a much stranger purpose. You see, Loop thought it would be fun if all the songs in the game had lyrics, and the gemstone could toggle the lyrics on and off. I tried going with it at first. I actually wrote some partial lyrics for the Valley and Forest themes. But I'm not that experienced, so it was difficult to make sure all the songs I came up with are singable. So we scrapped it because I was having too much trouble. We ended up only going with a lyrical song for the title theme, which doubles as the end credits theme. It's interesting, though. Sometimes trying to imagine lyrics actually helps me come up with a melody. But other times it feels like it restricts the kind of melodies I can write. Music is hard. We're gonna skip the flower for the moment, because that one is a special request, so pendant. This is the signature item of Rami, Garden of the Romantic Heart Valley. Hey, that's me! The Valley theme is one I had in my head for a long time, but didn't actually compose it until fairly late. The part that was in my head is near the start, then I sort of improvised some variations on it. I tried to give it a strong adventurous feeling throughout. The memory discs are dropped by the servants, the game's bosses. Sylvie has quite a few boss themes. The main boss theme is used for Servant L, T, R, and C. I really like how it turned out. It's catchy. The final boss, Servant S, has a remixed variation on the main boss theme. Uh-oh, spoilers. And not to spoil anything, but some bosses may have a second phase of sorts. The second phase theme is really bombastic. For that one, I was inspired by Megalomania from Live a Live. No, not Megalovania from Undertale. Although that is actually the same origin. Megalovania was inspired by the song Megalomania from Live a Live as well. I actually haven't played Live a Live yet. Live Alive. Live Alive, I think that's correct. I just really like that song. And the flower. Huh? Rami, I'm sorry that I cry so easily. What's going on? I try to be a good friend, but I'm always causing trouble for you. Terra? So I'm sorry that even in Sylvie I'm causing even more trouble. Terra, can you hear me? I love you, Rami. I've loved you for years and years. I know you'll never love me back, but I can't help feeling this way. What? I thought if I fell in love with someone else, I could be happy. Terra, you idiot! But everyone turns me down because I'm too stupid. I don't think she can hear me. It's a pre-recorded message. And even if someone else loved me, I think I'd still long for you. Terra, I can't stand this. I know I'll never be strong enough to say this to your face. I've been in love with this girl for so long, Sylvie. So this is the secret message I wrote for you, and she doesn't even let me respond to this nonsense. The confession of love I've held in my heart since the first time you gave me a hug. But I think there's something I can do. Have you decided what you're going to do after graduating? There's a locket somewhere in this world. It's not too hard to find. If you leave town, I'll miss you a lot, but I'm sure you'll do tons of amazing things. I told everyone it's for adjusting game options, but it's got a hidden data transfer port. Thank you for filling my life with brilliant colors, Rami. Even in this artificial world, I wanted to be able to see her again. Maybe by the time you read this, we will have already said goodbye for the last time. Sylvie, please load my data onto the locket. If not, I look forward anxiously to our next meeting. And take me to Terra's computer room. I guess that's all. If you have that locket, show it to me, and I can activate the data transfer feature. Sylvie, please help me see Terra again. That's all I ask. I have the locket. Okay. I'll punch in the secret code. Locket becomes Data Locket, Storage Unit of Hope. Action open. Fantasy connect. I'll begin the transfer now. I hope this works. Zap. This computer has served its purpose.
To another place.
Having to another place be irredeemable was the best decision I ever made. Also, wow, that was full screen, wasn't it? The alert widget. That should not be full screen. I had adjusted it in order to make it so it doesn't take up. There, that should hopefully fix it. Yes, anyways. Thank you, computer. Lime options changing kit. Lock. Program initiated. Oh, you're gonna use the debug menu? Be careful. Alright. Let's clean up a few houses while we're on the way. Although I suppose I could just teleport there, but I don't know, exploring's fun. This door can presumably open, but... Actually, yeah, okay, let's put a house down here and then warp. That way we can get back here real quick. The Terras. Hello, hello, Sylvie. Ask about her request. Please show the rainbow flower to my fellow club member, Rami. Terra, I love you. What? Rami? You idiot. I love you so much. Rami? How can you say you're causing me trouble? How can you say I'll never love you back? You... Huh? Terra, I've been in love with you this whole time. Deeply and desperately. Get in this locket and let me kiss you. What's going on? I'm not ready to kiss. I haven't brushed my teeth. Then I'll just give you a big hug. Rami. This song. Your special song. Yeah. It's an arrangement I wrote. I didn't tell anyone about it. I didn't know if I'd ever get to play it in-game. But I memorized the sound ID and the playback routine pointer. Just in case I'd be able to show it to you. We're a real pair of fools. You're the one who's going around openly getting crushes on everyone but me. But you're always sighing at me and calling me an idiot. Yeah, I guess I'm the stupider one here. No, I'm way more stupider. I wonder what our real selves are doing right now. Did we get together in that world too? Or were we both too stupid? I probably would have never noticed your feelings. I hope that eventually I got the courage to tell you. Or maybe one day I broke the rules and peeked at your secret code segment. Not allowed. I didn't actually do it, I think. When we made this game, we were just two heartbroken girls who didn't know each other's feelings. But somehow, our love became real in this digital world. That's the magic of computers! Sylvie, thank you for helping our dreams come true. We don't have a reward prepared for you. This isn't a scenario either of us programmed in. But we're both grateful from the bottom of our hearts. We'll keep hanging out in this locket. We've got a lot of lost time to catch up on. We'll try to keep our activities safe for work. At least when you've got the locket open. Rami? Lime options changing kit. Oh, you're gonna use the debug menu? Be careful. This computer has served its purpose. Thank you, computer. Right. Let's see what you have to say about it. Grammy's heart-shaped locket. You'd think there'd be a picture of her one true love inside, but instead it's the options menu. I love that thing that lets you change all the in-game progress flags. That's funny. Okay, nothing special. I just need to find a spike in order to respawn at the house. There we go. Let's see. Invincibility is a helpful power. Computer rooms are kitty, owl. Are the other computer rooms animals? I didn't think to check previously. There are shapes in a couple of the computer rooms, like you mentioned, but I think the others are just like a hand. Looks like a hand shape to me. Like a left hand and a right hand, maybe. I should be looking around to see if there's any breakable wall stuff. Sylvie gets notebook. Someone's notebook. Action, look. Fantasy, none. An unusual notebook with a cute duck on it, for some reason. For some reason, it can't be opened. So an interesting thing about the layout of this castle, you might notice that it appears to be maybe technically possible to get through this with maybe no upgrades. Just obscenely difficult, which I think links into that secret route in that I found. Obscenely difficult platforming is a recurring theme in several of Sylvie's games, and I think this is a case where the obscenely difficult platforming is an optional thing if you try and sequence break to beat the castle immediately. Sylvie gets fish. A red herring. Action, throw. Fantasy, none. The items in this game are so good. Hang on, I want to try something. Dang. Being mini Sylvie does not create a mini fish. Okay. she have to say about the journal? That's Cash's notebook. She always carries it around with her. She likes it so much that she put it in the game, too. So cute. I have a fish. That's Silica's fish. She's like a fish fanatic. I don't get it. They're not that interesting. I have the item. Oh, you found it? I'm not interested in that anymore, though. Now I'm looking for something called Elf Doll. The item I'm looking for is called Elf Doll. Did you ever find the cursed chest in the forest that can't be opened? Well, if you check it now, you'll get a nice surprise. Ruff! Aw, is my little puppy hungry? I'll give you a treat when we're done playing fetch, okay? Hang on. Who did she say that the journal belongs to? Ash. Okay. Gotta get one of those. Looking through the comments y'all have said. Very unique experience at this game. Know nothing about it. Came in for a serious, heartfelt love confession, get something to eat, and when I came back, the character was a little lime rolling around. Yep, this is a Metroidvania in which lime transformation is the primary mechanic. Anyways, we have another side quest to do here. Yeah, I don't know if this room's supposed to look like anything particular. To me, it looks like a hand sort of pointing downward. And yes, I just gave her a quest item and she said, "Oh, that's nice, I don't care." She also mentioned that she's the one that designed a lot of the tricks and traps within the game. She's a bit of a prankster. You could say she's a jerk, but I don't know. Playful bully. Hi, Sylvie. Show her one of your items. I have a fish. You like it? Oh, it's Silica's red herring. I think she added this because she's a big mystery novel buff. In mystery novels, a red herring is a term for a false clue. But I wonder if this item is actually useful for something. Oh, that's my notebook. I always carry it with me, and it contains a lot of my most precious memories, so I put it in the game. That way, even in this digital world, I'll have access to those memories. In a way. Farewell. Let's see. I don't think I actually want that. Well, that would be me playing a dangerous game if I didn't put a house down. Alright, where was that cursed chest? Cursed, can't open. But suddenly, the power of elves glows from deep within your heart. The curse lifts. Sylvie gets elf doll. Cute squishy elf. Action, throw. Fantasy, none. The elf doll. Alright. That's what the elf doll does, I guess. Let's go deliver it. I wonder if she's going to just go and say, nuh-uh, not interested. Hey. That's the squishiest damn elf I've ever seen. Oop. Saw that dialogue last time. Ah, you finally brought me the elf doll. Good girl. This is one squishy little elf. I really like elves. Elves. As a reward, I'll tell you something good. Error. Access denied. You must be a More Magic Club member to view this information. Oops, sorry. Guess I can't tell you if you're not a club member. If you ever become a club member, come back and see me. Ask about club membership. Did you become a member of our wonderful club yet? Can't reveal the truth until you do. Silica's the only one who can make you a member, but you'll probably have to impress her somehow. Maybe show her that fish you found. That girl is like a fish addict. Fish obsessed. Silica. Okay. I do not have the Silica memory disk. We have not yet met Silica. Let's see, what's the fastest way to... back to the castle? Probably just breaking houses until I warp back there. Yep. There's something secret, apparently. It's a small computer terminal with a slot for a memory disk. The slot is labeled with the letter S. There's the rainbow from where we planted our flower all that time ago. I think the last time I planted the flower was actually last session. This is the game ending sign. Would you like to end the game? No. Then goodbye. Yep. So I want my house to be somewhere out of the way. There. Alright. Burning elves. Meow. What's hitting me? Oh, it's the white raindrops. Does being smaller deal less damage? I deal half a heart while small. What about when I'm big? Also half heart. Yeah, so... Getting closer. Maybe I should use bullets for this one. I could also use immortality. Oof. Water droplets do a quarter health of damage, but that still might be better. Definitely easier. It was worth the experiment. The fish is still here. Okay. I'll get there, chat. But not with this run. I think I'm gonna need to wait for the raindrop, because the thing that's killing me the most is raindrops that are coming from the left while I'm on the left side of the screen, because there's no time to react. So I think I'm going to have to account for my positioning, and account for which direction the raindrops are coming from. Like, I don't melee attack if the raindrops are in the opposite direction of what I want. Sylvie gets Memory Disc S. Someone's memory. Action, various. Fantasy, none. Mhm. I bet somewhere in the game there's somewhere you can walk across the ceiling and fall into a hole that you would otherwise never discover. That seems like something that would exist. Alright. You insert the disc. Sylvie, you're finally here. I'm Silica, the producer and director of Sylvie Lime. I'm also the founder of the More Magic Computer Club. We created Sylvie Lime together as a final send-off for the club before we all graduate and go our separate ways. I guess if you found my memory disc, then you've defeated the last boss of Sylvie Lime. Did you enjoy the game? I wonder if there's still more to discover. Ask about the club. More Magic is a club I started with my friends in grad school. We're all students of magic at Silent Lake University, but it's a computer club, not a magic club. It was actually my friend Luke's idea. She pointed out that everyone we eat lunch with is into programming, or computer games, or something like that. I encouraged her to form the club herself, but she just said, no, you have to do it. She can be really stubborn at times. We have 5 members in total. How many have you met so far? Oh, I bet you're wondering why the club is called More Magic. If we're not a magic club. Have you heard the More Magic story before, Sylvie? It's a famous and fascinating piece of computing folklore. Yes, I've heard it, yes, but I want to hear it again. I want to hear it. It's a lovely story. This takes place in the early days of computing, when computers are mostly these huge mainframes owned by large institutions. It happened at an American university. Someone noticed that one of these mainframes had a strange switch glued to the side of it. The switch had 2 positions, labeled Magic and More Magic. It was set to the More Magic position. The guy who found it wasn't sure what the switch was for. He got a friend to help take a closer look at it. It turned out the switch only had 1 wire coming out of it. The point of a switch is to control the flow of electricity from one end to the other. If it's only connected at one end, it's totally useless. But when they flipped the useless switch, the computer immediately crashed. They didn't understand why, but they made sure to restore the switch to the More Magic position before starting the computer back up. Later, they looked at the switch even more closely, and found out the single wire was just connected to a ground pin. I'm not an electronics expert, but I think a ground is basically something that just absorbs electricity. They concluded the switch is completely super useless. It was obviously someone's weird prank, and the fact that the computer crashed last time they flipped it was just a coincidence. So they flipped it again, and the computer crashed instantly. After that, they just cut the switch out. The computer was able to run fine without it. There are some theories about how the totally useless switch was able to crash the computer, but nobody knows for sure. I always loved that story, so I thought More Magic was a funny name for a computer club made up of magic students. Anyways, we started making Sylvie Lime when we realized some of us were only about a year away from graduating. Let's see. Lots of folks in the chat talking with each other about the More Magic story. Always love to see it. I do have to do a lot of reading in this game though, so Can't always respond to everything. Glad to see y'all chatting amongst yourself, though. Of course, we're a computer club, so it's not like we're going to disband just because we can't all meet in person anymore. But things are definitely going to be different once we're not all hanging around campus together. We wanted to end those wonderful years with a bang. We all put a lot of ourselves into Sylvie Lime. Literally, to some extent. Hehe. I hope you all have fun exploring this world and meeting all the club members. You don't really know what to ask about. Alright, time for the item showcase. Glad you enjoyed chatting with others and with the streamer. Yeah, just with how text-heavy this game is, I gotta do a lot of reading. Which means not a lot of looking at chat. The house. Being able to throw checkpoints around was one of Loop's many strange ideas. I actually like this one, though. It's fairly friendly to the player, while also having interesting consequences. Plus, the house just looks really cute. The hammer lets you open secret doors in the background? Kinda weird. It was apparently inspired by this jank NES game called Millen's Secret Castle, which Loop insists is a masterpiece. Have you found any secret doors yet? They're completely unmarked, so you just have to use the hammer in suspicious places. I don't really like that kind of trial and error design. There's an item that lets you see where they're hidden, though. The mouse lets you shrink and become a tiny Sylvie. It's actually quite useful. The smaller hitbox can make it easier to avoid spikes. Being tiny also alters your throwing strength. Oh. The chair was originally added to the game as a sort of key to make it possible to reach one specific treasure chest. But the cool thing is that it's actually useful in other areas as a makeshift platform. That's something I really like about Sylvie Lime. A lot of the items have dual purposes. Oh, your snow person melted from the heat and became a water person. It's kind of sad, but it looks like they're still doing okay. The kitten is quite powerful. You become invincible while you're a kitten. But it has a bit of a startup time, so it takes some skill to use well. Stop sign. The stop sign feels like a pretty situationally useful item to me. In certain screens it can be helpful, like that spike maze in the valley. Coyote boots. Ah, the boots. Do you know why they're called coyote boots? A lot of modern platformers have a grace period where you can still jump for a bit after you walk off a platform. It's named Coyote Time after Wile E. Coyote from Looney Tunes, who often hovers in the air comedically after walking off a cliff. Anyways, me and Loop had a bitter fight over whether to include Coyote Time on the jump in this game. I think it's a brilliant innovation and it makes platformers feel much better, but Loop hates it for no reason. One day she added this item as a passive-aggressive compromise. I just gave up after that. Frame rate. The frame rate doubling item. Just as Loop's doing, as you might expect. I was already unhappy with her insistence on using a cinematic 24 FPS frame rate instead of the modern 60 FPS standard. When she proposed this, I flipped out. Like, did you intentionally choose a low frame rate just for the sake of this joke item? I do admire her commitment to the bit, though. She did a bunch of work to make all the movement feel roughly the same at both frame rates. The Eye of Truth. This game has loads of fake walls, sometimes to the point of being unfair. I felt like we had to have an item that lets you see which walls are fake. Fortunately, Loop didn't push back on it. But then she made the item difficult to access without finding an invisible secret door. The resulting argument was pretty intense. She's too damn stubborn for me, so she won in the end. A reminder that the Eye of Truth can only be found by using the hammer in a specific spot that leads to a otherwise completely sealed off room. The Eye of Lies lets you see those pesky invisible secret doors you can open with the hammer. But we wanted it to have some kind of downside, so that you have to think before using it. That's why it makes all the spikes invisible. Maybe that's going too far, but it does fit the Lies theme. Oh, the gemstone. There's a funny story with this one. Originally, Loop wanted all the songs in the game to have lyrics, and the gemstone would toggle the lyrics on and off. Another one of our bizarre ideas. Remy, who did the music, was actually on board for a bit, but she felt like it was too hard to write songs that you can sing along to, so it was ultimately scrapped. So we had to come up with a new idea for the gemstone. We went in a pretty different direction, in the end. Fish. No, let's skip the fish for now, because that's, maybe, story advancing. Health. This is Loop's signature item. Every member has a special item they have creative control over. Loop's case is weird, though, because she already designed a good chunk of the other items in the game. I don't know what purpose this elf actually serves, other than being cute and squeaky. Loop's a big elf fan. Flower. Oh ho, you managed to water the flower. You can now, create rainbows everywhere. Pendant. Ah, so the locket has a secret data transfer feature. I have a good guess as to why Remy added that. Disc. There are 5 memory discs in the game. Collect them all. Journal. Oh, that's Cash's notebook. She's another club member. Have I told you that I love mystery novels? Cash was working on one. She's a really creative person. I think she kept all our notes and drafts in there. I don't know if she ever finished it. I have a request for you, actually. If you meet Cash, can you ask her what happened to her story? And, if it's possible, ask if she can let me read it, or whatever she had done. Even if she got discouraged and gave up, I'd really like to see it. I'm also worried that if she gave up, it might be my fault. If so, I want to apologize to her. She's a sensitive person, so please phrase the request carefully, and don't push her too hard. Please let me know how it goes, Sylvie. Alright, and fish. Oh, nice fish. Is that an actual red herring? In detective fiction, a red herring is like a false clue that leads you away from the real culprit. I'm a big fan of mystery novels, so I always wanted one as a pet. Unfortunately, it turns out there's no such thing as a red-colored species of herring. It's just a term for herring cooked in a certain way. But in the digital world, we can overcome the bounds of reality, and make our herrings as red as we want. I'm actually the one who added that item into the game. I thought it'd be funny. Hey, speaking of mystery novels, have you met Cash? She was writing a mystery story, I think. In that notebook she always carries around. She was really excited about it for a while, but then she stopped bringing it up. I wonder what happened to it. Let's see. I have to look up the 500-mile email story. That's one I haven't actually heard of. See you later. Okay, so we have a couple of tasks to do. We need to go over to Cash and ask about the journal and mystery story. And we still need to become a member of the club. Hello, Sylvie. Ask about her story. Silica wants to read my mystery story? Well, I did actually finish writing it. But it's a stupid story. It's so convoluted and the tricks barely make any sense. The closer I got to finishing it, the more I hated thinking about what I'd written. Showing something like that to a person who loves mysteries would just disappoint them. So, she was actually looking forward to reading it. Silica isn't the kind of person who would lie about that or say that out of pity. How typical. I let her down with my lack of confidence again. Huh? She wanted to apologize? For what? Huh? I don't get it. I don't understand why she's so nice to someone like me. The story is in that notebook you're holding. There's a lot of embarrassing stuff in there, but it's full of important memories too, so I couldn't part with it. When we were making Sylvie Lime, each club member had their own secret segment of the game code that nobody else was allowed to look at. In my segment, I stored an encrypted copy of my notebook's hard drive, so that I could always look through those memories if I wanted to. I think I'm ready to share my story with her. I'll unlock the notebook and decrypt the story files. Notebook becomes Notebook Computer. It was really a computer. Action, look, fantasy, memories. You should be able to connect this notebook to the computer with Silica's memory disk. When you first brought up the story, it hurt a little to think about it again. But I'm starting to get kind of excited. Please let me know what she thinks of it. Sylvie, thank you for putting up with me. I hope I'll hear back from you soon. This is actually a custom-built notebook computer with a mechanism on top of the case. The case won't open unless you rotate the duck. And to rotate, you need to input a simple passcode by pressing the duck's body parts. I built it for fun, mostly. I don't expect the duck to actually secure my data against thieves, or anything. Oop, wrong place. I just warped to exactly where I was. You wrote a whole ass mystery novel. Even if it's not good, that's still dedication. Hello again, Sylvie. So she finished the story after all. I'm really glad she did, even if she doesn't feel confident in it. And it probably took her a lot of courage to agree to show it to me. I'm a computer program now, so it should only take me a few seconds to read it. Let's go! I imagine her making dial-up noises right now. Wow! Sylvie, you should read this too. It's amazing. Sylvie reads the story too. She has a great time. Ash, I wish you could see the smile on my face right now. She gets so down on herself when she's always making great stuff like this. She gets so down on herself when she's always making great stuff like this. I mean, it's true that it's not really a conventional mystery, but it breaks the conventions in such an exciting way. I don't need a mystery to be perfect, sterile logic puzzle. Figuring out closed room tricks is fun, but what always sticks with me is the emotional content of the story. And this mystery is so heartfelt and full of strong feelings. Sylvie, I have one last request for you. Go tell Cash I'm really proud of her. You better do it. When you get back, I'll make you an honorary member of the More Magic Club. That's a promise. Alright. Silica, she liked it? She's proud of me. Why does that make me sad? Silica, you're too nice to me. I can't stand it. Just tear me apart already. Let me finally give up on these feelings. If you really mean it when you say you're proud of me, I'll try my best to be proud of myself too. Sorry I had to see that, Sylvie. I'm not stupid enough to think my silly dreams will come true. So please don't tell Silica that I love her. As if she hasn't seen through me by now. Just tell her that I really am glad I finally shared my story with her. That's my final request. You don't need to report back when you're done. But if you feel like visiting me again, you're always welcome. She's glad she shared it with me? Well, I'm glad too. It's a wonderful story, and she's a wonderful person. Sylvie, I think I know what you're wondering about. Your feelings about Cash. Cash is in love with me, right? It feels kind of arrogant to say, but I'm not oblivious to this kind of thing. If you're wondering whether I love her back, well, I love all my club members equally. In other words, no. Not in the way she probably wants, at least. Like I said, I think she's a wonderful person. But I can't see a romantic relationship between us actually working out. I think someone as anxious as her needs a confident, unconditional love. I can't offer that on a whim, even if I really like and respect someone. I guess I'm capable of making the choice to love someone, to always see the best in them and offer the best of myself. But I think Cash would fixate on all the cracks in that foundation. If I told her this, she'd probably blame herself for not being good enough for me. That's not it. We're really just not compatible as we are now. I've been there before. Back in high school, I had a huge crush on Loop. I eventually confessed to her once I couldn't take it anymore, and she flicked me in the forehead so hard it almost knocked me on my ass, and said, "Just keep being my friend, you idiot." It took me a while to get over that. It didn't matter how strong my feelings were. She just didn't want the same kind of relationship I wanted. That's what makes love so tragic. You can love someone more than anything in the world for a million years, and it'll still be hopeless. Nowadays, I feel like I just don't have the time and energy for romance. I'd rather build lots of good friendships instead of centering my life around one person. Speaking of friendships, you've proven yourself to be a reliable new friend, Sylvie. As promised, I shall grant you an honorary membership in the More Magic Club. Hand me that fish for a second. Fish became member's card. You're part of the club. Action, look, fancy, belonging. That's right. The card was hidden inside the fish all along. Are you surprised? Sylvie, thanks to you, I think Cash and I both got some much-needed closure. I wonder if the other club members have some unresolved feelings or regrets as well. Thank you for playing Sylvie Lime. I hope you'll keep exploring the world we've created until you're satisfied. Congratulations! You're an official More Magic Club member. But the truth is, you're the only club member with a membership card. Not much point in making those for a little friend group club of 5 people. I disagree heartily. I would love to make a membership card for tiny, silly groups. See you later. Okay. Let's see. Hey. Or one of my items. So, you're a member of the club now. Welcome, Sylvie. I'm a club member now. Oh, you got a member's card. Welcome to the club, Sylvie. Okay. I can tell you the secret of the elf doll now. There's actually something special about that elf, and about this room. See the little tail coming out of her butt? That's actually a power cord. Elf doll becomes elf power supply. The power of an elf. Action, throw, fantasy, shock. And what it powers is the augmented reality mainframe in this room. Hold on a sec. Here, put the elf in that slot and you'll see what I mean. Go ahead. Go on, Sylvie. Insert the elf. Great, we've made it this far. Now it's time to reveal my evil plan. I'd like to use this room to host a reunion of the More Magic Club. You might ask why I didn't just write some code that dumps everyone in here. That's because of a condition Silica proposed. The club should only be able to reunite through a miracle. Nobody was allowed to individually write code that reunites the club, even in their secret segment. For my secret, I give that computer in the middle the power to project us into the world. That alone doesn't let you reunite the club. It's just a fun way to interact with me, the one and only Loop. And my hope is that there's some way to get the data of the other members onto this computer. If such a method exists, it'd have to involve the secret code segments of the other club members. These computers are pretty locked down by default. They each only accept one specific memory disk. But maybe the other club members implemented some hacks that'll let us get around those limitations. Sylvie, if you got any leads on how to reunite the club members, let me know. What's your evil plan? Basically, I want to gather all the club members in this room and have a little party. I don't know if it's possible, though. If it is, it'd have to rely on the secrets of each club member. My secret was this room's projection system. Have you learned anything about anyone else's secret? Anything that could store or transfer data would probably be helpful here. The pendant. So Rami's locket has a data transfer feature. Of course it does. But there's gotta be a catch. Otherwise we could just load everyone onto the locket and have our reunion there. Yeah, it looks like it only has enough storage space for 2 people. You might think we could ferry the members over 2 at a time, but the computers in Sylvie Line don't actually have a hard drive. Just some on-chip memory for the memory disk reader. We can at least hook up the locket, though, and have the computer project the people inside. That gets us from 1 club member to 3. Give it a shot! You plug the locket into the computer and slam the green button. Whoa, Loop? Huh, is Loopy here? My eyes are filled with nothing but you. What the hell's going on? This is really cool, though. Yep, you're being projected into 2D world space by my elf-powered contraption. Whoa, Loopy's really here. Guess that means we can't continue our scandalous activities. Hey, I don't mind. I like watching that kind of stuff. Let's put it off for now, Terra. Phases 2 and 3 of my evil plan are to reunite the club. Phases 2 and 3 of my evil plan to reunite the club are now complete. We just need to get Silica and Cash in here. Basically, we need some way for that computer in the middle to access their data, like how the locket is hooked up now. I don't think my locket will be any more help, unfortunately. It only holds 2 people, and those slots are occupied. Club reunion. Sounds really nice. Now, the data transfer feature of the locket was Rami's secret, right? I don't think my secret is going to be helpful. But I wonder if Cash came up with something useful. For her secret. I guess there's Silica too, but she was pretty set on the idea that reuniting the club would require a miracle. Yeah, she'll be ecstatic if we pull it off, but she isn't going to help with it, is my impression. So if anyone's gonna make this happen, it's probably Cash. Sylvie, did you ever figure out anything about Cash's secret? Let me know. Rami, you're my sweet little meow meow. No, you're my sweet little meow meow. Ah, but I said it first. Too bad, I stole it away. Like you stole my heart. Loudly slurps wine to ruin the food. I keep forgetting she's here. Who's here? I don't know. Slurping intensifies. Loop, I see that even in digital form, you still got a drinking problem. Having problems, solving problems, causing problems. How pitiful my life would be without problems. Alright, let's see. Hello, Sylvie. Congratulations on becoming a club member. Silica actually told everyone about the card hidden in the fish. I was wondering if you'd find it at some point. I worried for so long about that story. Got a little overwhelmed when I heard Silica's response. Sorry. It was like being swallowed up by a whirlwind of happiness, sadness, heartbreak, and longing. But now that I've settled down, I just feel really happy. Thank you, Sylvie. Maybe I need to talk to Silica. It's even better on reread. I can see the early parts of the story in a new light. This really is an amazing story, don't you agree, Sylvie? Sylvie nods. How do I express to them that... maybe I need to go back to... Oh! Hang on. You remove the disc. They aren't literal disks, they're simply items that once collected allow you to access some predefined data stored in the game's code. That data was created in a special way. It started as a simple dialogue tree for each club member like you usually find in a game. The dialogue tree code was loaded on a flash memory. Each member gave their personal memory card a shock with an electricity spell. These 5 pieces of magic-infused code were stored in the game as raw binary data. Normally this data would be seen as corrupt, but my dialogue system, Wednesday, is capable of executing it. The effect of magic on computer programs is a hot topic in academic research, but I don't think it's been applied to indie games before. Based on preliminary findings, I'm hoping us club members will exhibit lots of surprising behavior once more people get to play Sylvie Line. Okay, let's see. Dang. I'm trying to get the club back together again. Got Rami and Tara here thanks to Rami's transfer locket, but the locket can't hold any more people. How do we get Cash and Silica here? Silica's secret, whatever it is, probably won't be helpful. Maybe Cash's secret will. Oh, that's Cash's notebook. Wait, she put an actual copy of her hard drive in the game? Whoa, really? If there's enough space, we could all just hang out in her notebook's drive. Sounds too good to be true. Sure enough, it's read-only. Can access files on it, but can't transfer anything. Read-only? Aw, oh, dang. Figures. Unrestricted file transfer would make things way too easy. It was a good idea, but I can't see how to use this. Read-only. So you can still read it. Loop. I did something a little naughty. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. I'm sorry. Yeah? I'm listening. See, I wanted to send a special message to Rami. That's what I did with my secret. But I couldn't figure out a way to get my message to show up while Rami was talking. Seemed like it wasn't possible. So I added a backdoor to Wednesday, Cash's dialogue system. Wait, what? Ah! Bad puppy. Bad puppy. I snuck it in one of my big art revision commits. Basically, I can attach my own callback to an existing dialogue box and trigger it conditionally. It doesn't require modifying the original dialogue sequence, so... I think I see where you're going with this. Things are getting interesting. As long as Cash's notebook has some leftover dialogue files on it, I think this idea will work. Basically, we create a custom callback that runs when the file opens, and have it execute a club member's dialogue routine. Exactly. So the read-only file effectively becomes a pointer to the club member's data. Wow. I'm in love with a genius. I'm impressed. I'm pretty sure this will work with my projection system too, even though the access is kinda indirect. Cash has gotta have some random test files lying around from when she was developing Wednesday. We just need 2 of those files, one for Cash and one for Silica, to make this work. Sylvie, it's time to set phases 4 and 5 of my evil plan into motion. Go tell Cash about our idea. She'll probably be pissed about the back door, but whatever. That's the price of miracles. Tara did what? Yeah, I see it now. She hit that pretty well. So the plan is to point some unused files... So the plan is to point some unused dialogue files at me in Silica's data. And then since my notebook can connect to the computers in this world, we can read the data from it. That's brilliant. Okay, I've attached a cache callback to one of my files. Go show my notebook to Silica, and I'll help her set one up too. Oh, gosh dang it. My theory about... Awesome. Good. I removed the disk because I thought that might be one of the ways to get the data moved over. And that made it so I can't warp back here. Okay. Hello again, Sylvie. I don't mind reading the story again. Hey, Silica. Huh? Cash? There's no time to explain. We're about to make a miracle happen. You're what now? Actually, there's a lot of time to explain. I just wanted to say something cool. Please explain. I'm intrigued. Cash tells Silica about Tara's backdoor and Loop's plan. Amazing. I knew my club members wouldn't let me down. Which file should I use to set up my callback? Ooh, how about this one? Ideas for Silica's birthday.txt. What? I don't remember really making that. I'm kidding. I know you never use spaces in a file name. I'll use this one. Silica test 03.Wednesday. I made everyone say some kind of silly things in my test files. It's okay. Actually, I feel like this one captures me pretty well. Sylvie, I think everything's in place now. Let's head back to Loop's computer room and get this reunion started. I would love to, but I removed the warp point. And that one I'm going to actually have to walk back to. Close enough. I can work with this. Ooh, close. Oh no. Dang it. That'll work. Tiny lime. Let's get that disc back in. There. Are you ready? This is the last. Mash that button. Loop, you sneaky little devil. You actually pulled it off. You mean we pulled it off. The whole club, including Sylvie, came together and made it happen. Except you. You didn't really do anything. Loop, my dear puppy, what I did was make your task interesting. I issued you all a challenge, and you overcame it. I couldn't be more proud. I'm proud of these kids, too. Look, Tara and Remy have finally progressed as far as hand-holding. We've done a lot more than that. I was nervous at first, but when it's with Remy, it's really nice. Let's not get into that, Tara. I was actually kind of surprised at the stuff she's into. Intriguing. Tell me more. Please do not tell her more. Hey, anyways, remember that story Cash was working on? I got to read it, and it's amazing. Oh, cool. Is it in the notebook? Let me see. I don't know if I'm ready for more people to read it. Cash, don't worry. They'll love it. You're not gonna disappoint anyone. Everyone in the club loves your work. Well, okay. I'll let you all read it. In a bit. I need to prepare myself mentally. Yay! I'm excited. Me too, me too. I'm so proud of all of my club members. I'm even proud of my sweet little baby Silica. How tall you've grown. You'll have to stand on your tiptoes now if you want to forehead flick me. Wouldn't have it any other way. Can't forget Sylvie in all this. I'm really proud of her for making it this far. And whoever's out there controlling Sylvie. We're all very proud of you. Sylvie! As the director of Sylvie Line, this is my final message for you. I'd like to tell you what I hid in my secret segment of the game. There's a special flag in the game that I'm able to manually activate if the player reunites the club members. I didn't know whether it'd actually be possible to reunite the club, to be clear. We left it up to the whims of chance and magic. But just in case it was possible, I had this flag. I've activated it now. If you go check the game ending sign now, you'll find a switch on the back. Normally when you end the game and return to your original world, you're forced to resume your normal life as a Sylvie. But if you flip the switch, you'll retain the ability to turn into a lime when you return to your world. I wonder what you'll do with this power. People would find it quite shocking if they saw you use it. I recommend keeping it a secret. Don't change forms where others can see you. But that doesn't mean you can't use it at all, right? After all, if someone claims they saw a lime flying around, people would just think they're making it up. Be careful with heights, though. It's fall damage in your normal world. Using it outside is probably a bad idea, honestly. But perhaps you can have fun bouncing around your apartment. And maybe, if you meet someone you love and trust enough, you can tell them about your ability to turn into a lime. In any case, I hope you'll enjoy your new power. It's my thanks to you for everything. Sylvie Lime wouldn't be Sylvie Lime without Sylvie. Well, good luck in your future endeavors. Perhaps we'll meet again in another world. Luke, I don't think I ever told you this before, but your spiky collar is really cute. Thanks. It was a birthday present from Silica. Oh, really? Yeah, you want one? I think it'd have to look a bit more girly to suit me. Is that a yes then? I saw him with, like, ribbons and flowers and stuff. Ooh, that would be cute. A flower ribbon and some kitty ears. Cash, for your birthday, maybe we can go shopping together for some cute chokers. Yes? I mean, yeah? Alas, we never added a store to this game. Right? We're inside a video game called Sylvie Lime. Well, remember, we all infused our dialogue code with a little bit of our personal magic energy. That's how sometimes we're able to have these free-form conversations that we didn't script in the game. To be honest, Cash, it's not that I didn't trust your predictions, but I didn't think the magic would be this powerful. So it really feels like I'm sitting in a room, talking with everyone in the club like normal. It's okay, I'm shocked myself at how real this feels. How warm and nice it feels. I think, even now, we're still connected to our real-world selves in a loose sense. We don't know what they're experiencing, and they don't know what we're experiencing as copies in this digital world. But I think our strongest feelings on either side are probably able to cross that barrier. So, maybe me and Silica will have a shopping trip like that one day. Maybe. I can see me doing that. It'd be fun. I want to go shopping with Rami now that we're together. We already go shopping all the time, but it does seem like it would be more fun now. When shopping with someone you love, it sounds really nice. These youngins and their romance. Warms my heart, Sylvie. Really does. Sylvie, did you know that Loop is actually the youngest one in the club? Yeah, that's classified information. Tara. Yes, Rami? I love you. Rami, that's so sweet. I love you too. How about me? Well, I love Loopy too, but not as much as Rami. That kind of half-baked feeling is why I turned you down. It wasn't half-baked. I really did fall in love with you, Loop. I don't think loving multiple people means your love is half-baked. Well, Rami's extra special to me because I've loved her for such a long time. That's all. We talked about this a little. I'm more of a monogamous person myself, so I didn't really get it at first. When Tora kept getting crushes on other club members, I always assumed that meant she didn't love me. And to be honest, when she finally told me she loved me, I thought that meant those crushes weren't really real. But that's just my skewed worldview. I think Tara is someone who can hold more than one person in her heart at once. It's not like my feelings for different people are perfectly balanced, but they're still real feelings. When everyone turned me down, I had to cry, get back on my feet, and try and temper those feelings so they wouldn't keep hurting me. My love for everyone didn't go away, but I don't think I'll cry about it not being fulfilled anymore. Especially since I have Rami now. You're more mature than I thought. Loop, you fool. Never underestimate a club member. I may be a little stupid, but I always do my best. And that's what makes you so sweet and cuddly. Yeah, I am very cuddly. I can't wait to read Cash's story. I'm so excited. Thanks. I'm nervous, but also kind of excited to let more people read it. You know all the stuff that happened in Sylvie Lime? Me and Remy getting together and the club reuniting? It was pretty dramatic. Got me thinking, I kind of want to write a story too. But I think it'd be a love story instead of a mystery story. Writing can be difficult, but it's a lot of fun. I'd be happy to read your story. I was actually also thinking of making it a story-driven game. Most of my games don't really have much story. I've never really had any ideas for one. But suddenly, I'm excited about trying to make a game that has a deep storyline. I'm a little unsure how to blend the story with the gameplay, but I want to try it. I think experimenting like that is a good way to grow. Making a type of game you've never made before. You'll learn a lot of new things. I really love games that have good stories. I want to be a playtester. I haven't even started making it yet. And I guess I can't really make it while I'm inside Sylvie Lime. Well, even if you can't make it here, I think your feelings will reach the real-life version of Tara. And she'll start working on a game with a beautiful story. Or maybe she's already finished it by now. Maybe in the real world, Tara is famous for making games with really great stories. Whoa, that'd be amazing. I'll keep trying to think of cool story ideas, and maybe the real Tara will hear them. Somehow. I think she'll hear them. I hope the real Cash is having fun playing your story games. You know, if Sylvie Lime inspired Tara, maybe it's inspiring other people too, now that's been released to the world. Maybe Sylvie Lime will inspire people who aren't even in the club to make story games. It's really fun to think about. A whole wonderful world of stories. Silica, my old flame. 'Tis good to see you again. Loop. stop talking like that. It's genuinely good to see you, though. Likewise. Life's just more interesting when you're around. It is, it is. Loopy is always doing funny stuff. She truly is a funny little creature. So I am, so I am. Loop, I'd like to apologize for arguing with you so much during Sylvie Lime's development. I do still think you went too far sometimes. I'm not saying I retract my statements, or I agree with you all, or I agree with all of your nonsense. But watching Sylvie run around this world, I realized that a lot of your weird ideas made for a really unique experience. It's fine. Wasn't anything I haven't heard a billion times. Actually, that's what still pisses me off. You keep acting like my views are so unoriginal and conservative. You're supposed to be apologizing to me. Look, what I mean is like, there's sort of a game design counterculture in small indie spaces. It's made up of weirdos like me who have mixed and negative feelings about the values of dominant game design culture. We've been surrounded by the dominant culture for decades, so we're interested in twisting, breaking, and tearing up those values. A work that adheres too strongly to those values doesn't excite us, even if it's well executed. Basically, you're pissed off because I'm saying your values align more with the mainstream than the counterculture. Yes, I don't consider myself someone who blindly follows trends, so it's a little frustrating. But there's a wide gap between blindly following trends and being part of a countercultural artistic movement. I arrived at my positions because I've been deeply immersed in the theory and practice of game design for almost 20 years. I know you like games and find game design interesting, but it's not really your main thing, right? Your ideas are your own, but at the same time, they're shockingly similar to how I thought about games as a teenager. I'd say you have another 10 years of thinking about game design before you catch up to me. I think I can accept that. It reminds me of academic research in a way. It's not that people outside of academia have boring, unoriginal ideas. Most of them just haven't studied the subject at the same depth as us. Someone might independently come up with a great idea about magic, but we'd all recognize it from a famous paper. And even within academia, we're all studying magic from different angles, and there are different subcultures in the research community. Someone might think they have an interesting direction, then find out another subculture has considered it and dismissed it. As a fellow game designer, I felt like I agreed with Loop more often than Silica, but I thought Loop was too extreme at times. Terra, I'd say you've got about 3 to 4 years before you catch up with me. You're doing great, though. Cash is the only one who'd stand a chance against me in a game design battle. It's a shame she mostly did systems programming. I don't know about that. I don't think I would have done as good of a job. I see what you mean, Loop. Like, Cash isn't nearly as unhinged as you, but she's really creative in a different sort of way. I wonder what Sylvie Line would have looked like with Cash as the design lead. Maybe Cash can direct the next More Magic game project. That'd be exciting. Direct? I don't think I could do it. It's not as hard as it sounds. You mostly just tell other people to do stuff. That's your lazy style. I'd be much more hands-on as a director. And it'd be a nightmare for everyone involved. That's why I mostly go solo for my game dev projects. I don't regret working together on Sylvie Lime, though. It was a blast. Squishy little Sylvie. Let me pet you more and more. I wonder what kind of adventures you'll go on next, Sylvie. Pat, pat. It's really nice having a Sylvie sit on your lap. You're really warm, Sylvie. Do you like it when I scratch behind your ears, Sylvie? You're so cute. Sylvie, your hair is so fluffy. I could pet you all day. Fluffy, fluffy Sylvie. Alright. And yes, all the club members of computer names. Ramcache, Terabyte, Silica.
To
Okay, that element is in a lot more reasonable of a spot, but there we go. That should be pretty good. Thanks for redeeming that so I can figure out where it's actually appearing and fix it. One thing left to do. This is the game ending sign. Would you like to end the game? I'm going to be honest, I'm really excited about getting the ability to turn into a lime. I don't know how that would work, but I'm excited. Sure enough, there's a switch here. Leave it in the magic position, flip it to the more magic position. The switch doesn't budge. Push harder. The switch refuses to move. The switch is too heavy. The switch seems to be broken. The switch cannot be flipped. Your sweaty hands slip off the switch. Your grip is unsteady, and you can't hang on. Pushing is starting to feel painful. It really hurts to keep pushing. The switch is impossible to flip. Give up now. My hands hurt, but I have to keep pushing. The switch refuses to move. I'm so tired. I'm tired, but I had fun. The switch refuses to move. I'm so tired and my whole body hurts, but it really was fun. Thank you for playing Sylvie Lime. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for playing Sylvie Lime. Thank you.
Pouring out my feelings on this winter night. Melting like a castle built from ice and snow. Let my yearning fill this cup up to the brim. Serve it to you and watch you down it in one go. Sitting right by your side on this moonlit summer night. Silently looking up as the fireworks burst and glow. These unspoken words could fill an ocean up. Serve 'em to you and watch you down 'em in one go. Seasons pass like pages in the flipbook of my past, and I wish that I had more time to cherish them. Seasons pass so fast and yet so slow, and the seed that you planted in my heart starts to grow. Boundless love that reaches far beyond the sky, endless love that I'll carry till the day I die. Hopeless love, I'll serve some more to you for countless more seasons. For countless more seasons.
And the game quits. There is one slight additional thing that I would like to do here before we fully call it. Let me bring the game back up. This menu is implemented by R with C's assistance. At the request of my fellow developers, certain items cannot be obtained with this menu. Forbidden flags. Authorization required. Type the name of the true last song and press enter. Verifying password. Hi, it's Sylvie. This section lets you edit the game flags that affect the behavior of more Magic members. I didn't want to exclude any flags from the debug menu, but it doesn't really make sense for Rami to have control over these. That's why I hid this section behind a password revealed in the game's true ending. This is something Sylvie herself added to the game. You can also upgrade the signature items of the more Magic members to their second level here, which is not normally possible. Anyways, have fun with these flags, and be careful. What if I change... Let's see. Flip book. What if I change the lock to one mode? Does that make it? Don't know. Anyways, there are actually a few secret interactions if you mess with the flags and cause things to occur out of order. You know, like getting the same character in the same position to talk to itself, that kind of thing. I think there's a few Easter eggs of that variety, but that will require a lot of testing of various flags in order to determine all those. Regardless, I have heard that there are some little secrets like that that require the use of the flipbook secret debug options. In any case, that, my friends, was Sylvie Lime, in more or less its complete form. This game, I really like it a lot. Going through it and not expecting any of the narrative, just expecting a Metroidvania, makes the game really stand out in my mind, and to have a full story about the club members having developed the game you're playing using magic technology and the social interactions between them really adds a huge amount to... really adds a whole lot. And adds a lot of talking for me to do when I stream it. In any case, that's going to be it for today's stream. Thank you all for showing up. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you can now understand why Sylvie and Aria are I think, some of the most interesting developers out there for making really unique and fascinating experiences. I will probably highlight 7 Elemental Lords, which was a game released a year or so ago? I don't know. I'd have to look. But came out after this, for sure. And it's another pretty fascinating one, and gets a lot of mileage out of an extremely low resolution. A very fun, micro-sized adventure. And as always, to another place.